Welcome back to another episode of the Ark Switch Survival Guide. Today we are going to teach you all about the Ichthyornis or Seagull, and these are some really annoying birds you've probably run into way too often, but when you've tamed them, they are incredibly helpful parts of your team because they allow you to get prime meat really easily, and it's much easier to tame things that use a passive taming system where you feed them dead fish. But they are incredibly hard to tame, mostly because they're really easy to kill while you're trying to knock them out. And they're also very hard to actually get them down. So we're going to teach you some really helpful tips and tricks to make it much easier to tame an Ichthyornis, and we'll also show you how to make Tranquilizer Darts, which we are going to use to tame this really nice looking little seagull. So, when I was coming around this lagoon here, I noticed a really cool purple seagull, and I'm going to try to tame this guy. Now, these guys are very hard to tame. Seagulls are one of the harder dinosaurs to tame for a lot of reasons. But first of all, it's really hard to hit them, and secondly, you've got to make sure they are not above the water when you actually hit them, because if they knock out over water, they will just immediately drown, and then you just kill that seagull you were trying to tame. So that's actually one of the biggest pitfalls you need to worry about. Now, when you're taming a seagull, it's usually a very good idea to hit it with a bola before you do anything else because they are so hard to hit. It's going to be extremely hard for you to get a couple hits in with arrows. So I've got this beach over here, but the seagull has mostly been over water, so I'm actually sitting here on my raft trying to give it something to land on. So the easiest thing to do is to get it to attack you, and then it circles around you. But you've got to be really careful when shooting it so you don't kill it, because they have very low health. Now, I'm timing my shots with a little bit of time between them, but I should not have fired that third arrow. I should have just waited a while. So I'm going to come back here, and we're actually going to make some Tranquilizer Darts, because I just leveled up while I was doing a couple other things, and it is going to be so much easier to tame a seagull with a Tranquilizer Dart. It is almost impossible to actually tame them with a crossbow, because you're probably going to kill it when you shoot it, which is why I actually downgraded to use the regular bow and arrow when I was trying to shoot at this guy. But the Tranquilizer Darts are so much better because usually 1 or 2 hits with a Tranquilizer Dart is enough to knock out most lower level seagulls, and you have a best chance of anything of not actually killing it that way. So usually if you fire 2 Tranq Darts at even a higher level seagull, like in the 30s, 40s, the second dart will oftentimes kill it, even with this low damage weapon. But if we get a seagull that's like in the 10s, 15s, something like that, we should be able to knock it unconscious with just 1 Tranquilizer Dart, and that should give us a chance. Now, if you've spent much time around these seagulls, you know they steal your stuff. They are incredibly annoying. So they will grab any of your food and just immediately eat the entire stack, and they'll grab something random from your inventory. So I'm putting a bunch of spoiled meat in my inventory before I go after this guy, and I also got a bunch of berries and just split the stacks using the X button so that there's a whole bunch of stacks of stuff that I really don't mind if he steals, and that increases the odds of him stealing something that I don't care about. I thought about filling my inventory with poop so that if he steals something, he just steals a pile of poop. But I actually want that. That's very helpful for fertilizer. So we've got this seagull, and he's really high up in the air, and I don't think I can quite hit him from here. Now they just kind of fly around in random circles. They always fly in a circle, but they change directions pretty often. So it is really hard to get them. Now I could try shooting at him, and he'd probably knock out if I hit him with a Tranq Dart, but just to be sure, I'm going to try to get him and just kind of follow him until I can get a clean shot, or until I can actually get him to dive bomb me. Now, if you fire right in front of him, a lot of times you can actually hit him if you can calculate where he's heading. There we go, perfect. and we got him down, and I'm going to shoot him in the butt because, oh, perfect. I want to do the least amount of damage as possible. Now, a level 12 Ichthyornis was great because that just took one Tranq Dart to knock it out, and it's probably got just barely any health at this point. So just a full disclosure, you're probably going to kill about 3/4 of the seagulls you try to tame. That's just part of taming them. They are so hard to tame. Now, the easiest way to actually hit them with a bola is to get them to dive bomb you like we did on the first one, the purple one, and then they start circling around you and usually stay close to you. And you can actually throw the bola as they're coming straight at you, and that makes it much easier to actually hit them while they're on a dive bombing spree. And as long as you've got a bunch of food, you don't care if they steal it, then you've got a pretty good chance of not losing anything really important. Now, they will actually disarm you. They'll steal your bow and arrow or even your gun sometimes, and if they do, they'll drop it immediately. But if they steal your food, they'll just eat it and it's gone forever, so be real careful of that. Also, I didn't carry any narcotics with me, so it didn't steal those, and I only grabbed them from my fort along with the food I'm using to tame. I kept that out of my inventory until we actually got this guy unconscious. So there we go. We've just been cruising around here guarding it because they usually, by the time you knock them out, they're almost dead. They have such low health, it's crazy. But this is actually a shoulder-mounted bird, so if I hit the X button, I can pick it up, and he sits on my shoulder like that, which is pretty great. Now, I'll probably add some health to this guy because you don't really need to worry about their stats too much. They insta-kill fish and dodos that you attack with them, so I'm not really worried about that. I also like to set them up on their own ordering group so I can control them separately. Now, they'll be set on follow when you start, but you can actually tell them to stop and they'll land pretty quickly, unlike pteranodons. It's pretty easy to get them to sit down. Now, I'm going to set him to no hunting for now, but you can also hold down X and you can set him to hunt or hunt and retrieve. And hunt and retrieve will mean it will actually catch a fish and then carry it back to you, which is what I usually like it to do. And I'm going to set it on low follow distance so it's easy to pick up when it's done doing things. And there we go. Once again, we just hit X to pick it up and double tap X to throw it out and let it fly around a little bit. So we finally tamed a seagull, but I've got to admit it took me 3 or 4 other seagulls that I killed in order to get this one tamed. So in the next video, I'm actually going to show you how to hunt and fish with a seagull, which will give us the most reliable source of prime meat and prime fish meat for taming dinosaurs later. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, we are getting very close to hitting 900 subscribers, where I am going to do a Bob Ross painting on the side of a Brontosaurus. So be sure to subscribe if you have not already, and we'll bring you some more Bob Ross. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching this video from the Ark Survival Guide. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more great guides like this one. Ark is an amazing game, but there is so much to learn before you can really enjoy it. We are dedicated to bringing you high-quality guides, tutorials, and Let's Play videos that are fun, helpful, clean, and suitable for the entire family. There's a tutorial in this series for everything we have done so far in this video. Check out these playlists for more episodes from this series and other guides to help you enjoy your journey on Ark.